Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I've got a few things that I'm showing you. The first is I went outside sketching for the first time in ages, and as a consequence of that, I started painting this painting, which I'll talk about a bit more later. This painting's been a little bit of a journey. It's only small, but it's been a little bit of a journey, pardon the pun, forest pun. I'm also going to share a warm-up activity that helps me quite a bit in my practice. So that said, I hope you enjoy and we'll see you at the end. Bye. So I thought I would come down here and do some sketching. This is just our, I guess, local reserve. A cottage garden, a house with a cottage garden called Sloan's Reserve. And you often see there's heaps of kangaroos come down here. We've got quite a lot of trees around our suburb. I'm feeling like it's been such a long time since I've done this, so I'm wanting to just take it slow and just see what I find interesting. I might go for a little bit of a walk. And I've just got my little backpack, and all I've taken, I'll show you what I've taken. Little watercolour set here, which has been fantastic. I love it. And I've got a little A5 sketchbook, which I'm nearly finished. And this one, oops, Inktense pencils and a sharpener, and these ones, which I'm going to buy more of. These are the Neocolor 2, so they're the water soluble ones mixed in with Neocolor 1s, and I like the Neocolor 2s actually. Even if I don't use them as water soluble, I really like the feel of them. They're a bit softer. So that's what I got, and a little thing for water. Pleased I found a spot to perch on that's not at the park bench. The park bench is sort of in more of a public area with all the swings and playground equipment. So I've got a nice log to sit on, and they've sort of cleared through here a little bit. So you can see the trees. I don't know, I guess I might just sketch and see what I find. Just feels really nice being surrounded by greenery and nature and birds and things like that. It really doesn't do it justice. I'm looking at what I'm filming, and it actually is a lot nicer in real life. So anyway, what happened was I just became a bit interested in just the tree trunks, and I slowed my brain down a bit. So this one I'm just gonna work into like with the details, because it was meant to be just looking at that tree there, and I just wanted to get down the background. So I'm just going to work into that with some, either with black or with if I've got a fine line, or I'd use that, or maybe. So I just used my Neocolor 1s, Neocolor 2s. I found them to be really good. So this one is a Neocolor 1, and it actually created some nice marks on here. This is my other one. I really enjoyed using the Neocolors on this. I think I'm definitely going to buy some more, both the Neocolor 1s and 2s. Just gets a nice contrast with materials. Anyway, I've got a bit of a headache, so I might head home. It's beautiful out here though. I wanted to show you some little postcards that I've been making. Some I made this year, and But I actually found ones that date back a couple of years ago actually, and look, one that I just started and I haven't finished. Put that one aside. I'm going to use this little box to put them in, so I'm going to varnish that and finish it off. Usually I paint the inside as well, so I'm going to do that. Anyway, so I might just show them to you because I watched something on YouTube just very recently about someone talking about doing very small, sort of like baseball card size, not that I've ever been into baseball, trading cards, artist trading cards, and that would mean, I guess that would be sort of half the size of this, but this is like a postcard size, and it's really nice paper, so it's nice watercolor paper, so you can just do all sorts on them. Anyway, so I'll just show you. I might just pull the camera in a little bit closer, get a bit of a better shot. That out of the way. So that one I'm going to paint on at some point. It's my messy table. Actually, I'll show you the ones I've done recently. So they ended up just being like a whole bunch of portraits of ladies, like faces and flowers. This one I'm not finished. That one was a weird one actually. It's kind of got a... These ones, they remind me of old photos. I think I've been kind of inspired by old photos lately. This one of swans. One. Move them out the way. And the rest of them, they look like they're from a while ago. Actually, I think that one's recent. I haven't got the date on it. But yeah, really good for mucking around and using up old paint. And I've got something else to show you. So this is a wooden box that I zhuzhed up, and I put some felt, lined it with some felt. These are just little treasures. I've been cleaning out my art studio, so I was making little, I guess they're oracle cards or angel cards, but it's sort of like animal symbolism. So like, for example, we've got horse, and I've just got a little encouragement, I guess, on the back. You are perfect just the way you are. I want you to see life as an adventure of possibilities. Give thanks for all you can do spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And that is from horse. So they're all animals. Got cow, elephant, peacock, this one's white tiger. Celebrate the unique blueprint of you. Like a kaleidoscope pattern, you have so many intricate facets of depth and textures, thoughts, feelings, and abilities. All of this, all of who you are, is safely wrapped in love, giving you the freedom to be just who you are with no apologies. White tiger. Now, mostly done with watercolor and ink, I think, and watercolor pencils, probably the ink tense pencils. These have been a few years old actually. Frog, rabbit, some of them I have not finished. Turtle. Now that would be, oh, kingfisher, of course. Good old kingfisher. Fox. tiger. Owl. We all have an inner rebel, the part of us that wants to push boundaries and live inside freedom and spontaneity. Embrace this part of you. Let your inner wisdom guide you. Though you have imperfections and shadows, you don't need to be influenced by the opinions of others or your own critical voice. Owl. We do like owls. I do have an owl tattoo. It was sort of like the animal of my son Jordan, because he always sends owls. Even we have a farm in Bruce Rock, Western Australia, which is out almost in deserty kind of land, and there's this owl that shows up there. So always kind of, yeah, owls are just really special. So this one is the stag, butterfly, macaw, bee, wolf, and there's some I haven't finished. So I've got black swan, which there's lots of black swans here in Perth, and that looks like an eagle, but I haven't written anything. Dolphin, I should finish these. Wasp or hornet, I guess. Iguana. That one is a dragonfly. I haven't written anything for that one. It looks like another hornet. And ladybug. Yeah, I did quite a lot of them. It's, I probably need to revisit them and write the little blurbs for them because they're useful. They're encouraging. Anyway, so these are my postcards. This is a little warm-up activity that I go back to. I learnt it when I was studying counselling, and I did my prac with an art therapist, and I just come back to it because it's so simple, and I don't know, I think it's just a bodily thing because it gets you to just loosen up. So it's really just creating scribbles and finding shapes. And it's very mindless, and it doesn't matter how stressed you are because it's not about sort of the outcome. Add sort of colours intuitively. It's not about colouring in the lines, it's really just about loosening your body and just connecting with the materials. And just going with any colour you feel drawn to. It's been a long time since I used these dry pastels, but I think generally I prefer oil pastels, but I'm going to start to try and make different types of marks and see what sort of mess I can create. I think especially, when you're tired, if you're dealing with illness or anything like that and you're too tired to create and you don't have the bandwidth to sort of do anything of much, it doesn't require very much thought. All it is just putting your emotions and basically it's just creating marks. And you can be a little bit curious at the end as to what comes out. But you can find little shapes in here that later on you can go back into. And just let things emerge as they want to. I might even do. This is just cheap cartridge paper in a pad that I can rip out. Sort of feel to do quite a few of these today and see what emerges. So even now I'm starting to get more loose because I know that it's not a finished product, it's just getting feelings out and I've got a bit of a focus. It feels so childlike, you know, like it really feels so childlike. Accesses sort of part of your brain that we don't normally access at this point. I'm just going to start to do them really rapidly. You can even do it with your eyes closed, like create the scribbles with your eyes closed. You can see shapes forming. And the point is trying to get some energy out, which will add to our energy. Ironically, doing this actually creates more energy because to me it's the same principle as active writing, or what writers often call the brain dumping. Like when you just put your random thoughts down and it doesn't have to make sense. This is the artistic, the visual arts version, I guess, of that. Okay, a couple of them I tried to develop into something, but I actually think much better just to keep going with the abstract brain dumpage. It's the one I did earlier. Not sure about these ones. I kind of got into a funny headspace and I was trying to do something with them, but at the same time it was like almost like a halfway bridge between something wanting to come out and not knowing really what it was. So I guess I'll just sit with these. They can always go in the bin. Good thing about dry pastel is that you can work over it with any material you want. I just wanted to talk about this painting here. It's only like a small painting. It's on board, like a panel board, which is kind of nice to paint on sometimes. But yeah, I've been really going back and forth over it and struggling with it, and wondering what even I'm meant to be sort of saying as an artist, and just basically overthinking everything way too much. And it's kind of taken the joy out of it for me, because I think that what happened for me was I feel so like, because I've got low energy, I'm sort of always just painting in fits and spurts. So I sort of do just half an hour or 40 minutes or whatever, and then I'll come back to it again. And I think that that's been a good thing for me in some ways, because like I can, I feel like it lends itself to sort of keeping things fresh, but at the same time, there's just this little thing on my shoulder that's like, no, you're just being really lazy in your art. And I know that that's not true. I think we've got to just realize the things that we enjoy in our art and realize what we like to look at in our art. And long story short, anyway, so this one I guess I kind of realised I had to revisit that question, you know, what do I like? What am I interested in, basically, in art? And even though it's a small, fairly humble painting, it really caused me to think that, because I did look at some Klimt paintings. You know, he did some realistic paintings of forests, and I looked at those, and I looked at reference materials, and also the plein air little sketch that I did the other day. And I realised that at my heart, I really enjoy the sort of symbolic element of art. So in other words, what does the forest evoke for me? Like, what sort of themes come up with the idea of forest? And mostly the forest is like a uncharted kind of territory where it is so easy to get lost. And like lately I've heard a lot of stories about people getting lost in the forest, and I remember one time I went for a big long walk. We were on like a camp. I think I was in my 20s, and I was just lost in the moment and in the wonder of it. And I would see all these, you know, amazing lizards, and I saw like a little dam and things like that I came across, and I literally lost my way. But fortunately I wasn't like in a really deep forest, so it was pretty easy to find my way back. But I think that idea that you're going into a space that's in some ways wild, and there are always unexpected sort of turns and unexpected bits in the landscape that you can come across, that it feels really magical at the time. Like if you've ever sort of gone on like a wander in the forest, it does feel really magical when you come across things that you're not expecting. So as always, it's kind of a good metaphor for life, and when we're in uncharted territory in a way, and a good metaphor for where I'm at with my art, because just revisiting that question, like what am I even about? What do I even believe? What do I even like? And it's so important to ask these questions. So anyway, I really wanted to add some creatures in the forest, mainly because I had this feeling, I guess, in this painting with the forest, that the girl is alone or feels alone, but she's not really alone, and there's all these things around her that are almost lost in the forest. Like you have to sort of focus on them. Like you can't really see my parrot in the tree, but he's there, and just the oversized butterflies. So I'm kind of happy with it, but I'm still wrestling with the colours, because at the end of the day, I really like colour, but it's a bit of an art form to, like, if you push it, like people always tell you that you should make your pictures either warm or cool, and you know, the warms and the cools, like the opposite colours, if they're sort of in the same quantity, they can sort of wrestle against each other and not have that harmony that you want to have. But I don't know, analysing it, colour in that way has never helped me. Like, I have to say that it's just never helped me. I always find that I get too caught up in the rules, and I end up, it's much better if I just paint and take a bit of time and just see what looks good. I think formulas for me don't work. That's one thing I've discovered about myself. It might work for somebody else, but it does not work for me. So that's one thing that I found. So I've kind of I've got a bit of footage where I've shown different aspects of the painting where I've developed it in different ways, and I guess showing how I've gone through that push-pull cycle, and it's still not finished. It's the thing. I'm showing you this now. I don't feel like it's finished, but I feel like it's at the point where it needs to sit for maybe a day, and I'll come back to it. The other day, Kevin and I went to a place called Sloane's Cottage, which is near the little reserve where I was sketching the other day, and it's just lovely. It's a heritage protected house, and they run all sorts of things from there. Like they have gardeners and cottage garden, and they've even got like a little space where people can sort of edit old news feeds from around the place. And yeah, it was so interesting, and we were lucky that we were able to have a look at it actually, because it's not open to the public. That's a really good veggie garden.
This is the community garden.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please give us a like or a thumbs up if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.